Welcome to the second video in our rousing four-part series of Civil War and Reconstruction. The battles. Notice how I put twos here because this is the second video. If you haven't watched the first one, go ahead and check it out. It's less than a minute and 30 seconds. Gives you a nice review of the people that were important in the Civil War. This one is a little bit more involved. There's about 4 battles, count them 4, that I need you to know. The first one. Notice how I said first. I'm going to draw a really fancy number 1 right here. It's important for you to know that this is the first thing, the first big deal. You're number 1. Alright, I want you to think for a minute. If you have your battles and events of the Civil War notes, why don't you go ahead and get them out. Put the video on pause and get those out. If you don't know where they are, if you lost them, if you didn't finish filling them out, they are on my website in the helpful items section. Now, here's what we're doing. Firing on Fort Sumter. This is the first thing. Firing on Fort Sumter. I know I wrote that really slanty, but I think we'll survive. Firing on Fort Sumter. Shoo, 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 shoo. Goes uphill because it's being fired this way? I don't really know. Here's what's important about it. The South is able to overtake Fort Sumter primarily because Lincoln was gathering weapons and he was recruiting. He was recruiting soldiers. Gathering weapons and recruiting soldiers. So you could think of it as he was gathering weapons and soldiers together. So he would... the North kind of wins, but they really just overtake Fort Sumter. But this is the start of the Civil War, Fort Sumter, and this is located in South Carolina. And guys, remember when I make these reviews, I literally look at the tests as I'm figuring out what I want to tell you. So it's weird. It's like if I say it, it's important. The next important thing, I'm going to draw something over here. I want you guys to have a little guess as to what it was. Figured it out yet? How about now? How about now? Okay. Virginia versus Monitor. Can't figure out if it's OR or ER. Goodness, this is going to bug me. Give me a second while I look it up. In the meantime, why don't you flip through your notes and see if you can tell me first, because that will be embarrassing and slightly cool. So you can tell me on Monday, well, Miss Puckett, I knew that way before you. Hopefully you're not hearing all my papers turn as I'm flipping through this, checking. My apologies. Apologies. OR, okay. OR. Okay. It'll be really awkward if it's still actually ER. Virginia versus Monitor. Okay. First naval battle. Who was the winner? There wasn't one. That's a little bit awkward, but it's the first naval battle, which means it's the first battle at sea. At sea. So that there is fancy, cool kid lingo. I'm so awesome. Okay, next we have the battle at Gettysburg. Gettysburg. Do you like how colorful this is? Miss Puckett's been in a real, colorful mood as of late. Gettysburg. Okay, so Gettysburg is what we consider a moral victory for the North. It is a very bloody battle. It's a long battle. And it is here where we see the cost of war. Cost of war. And you guys remember, this is where Lincoln gives his very, very famous Gettysburg Address. I'll post the link on my website of my favorite old-timey actor reading it, Gregory Peck. Love it. So I'm going to write here, turning point. Turning point. I'm going to draw little arrows. Turn. They don't really look like little arrows. They look like really deformed little things. But know that these are little arrows and it's cute. Okay, next, the Battle at Vicksburg. Okay, and this, guys, will be another turning point in the Civil War. I want you guys to think for a minute, Vicksburg. Why is Vicksburg important? Because Union gains control of the Mississippi, I'm going to just write MS, River. The Mississippi River. And guys, I'm sorry, this is a moral victory for the North. The North wins Gettysburg. The Union at this point also gains control of the Mississippi River at the Battle of Vicksburg. Now, if they gain control of the Mississippi River, they control transportation and trade. It makes it harder for the South to get things to and from each other. That's one of the big reasons it's important. Now, I came up with a little memory trick, so I'm going to write memory trick in black. And this may work for some of you. If you're not really up to snuff on all this stuff, you may not get this trick, and that's okay. You can remember it on your own. But when I think of Vicksburg, it reminds me of the last name of a famous football player who was in trouble with the law for dogfights. It was super awesome for him, but it was good for us because hopefully you remember his name. His name was Michael. Oh, Mike, what am I doing? Michael Vick. Okay, Michael Vick. I want you to think the battle, Battle of, you see how I'm writing with two markers right now? You should be really impressed. Vic Sperg. We gain control of the Mississippi, and I'm just doing M for this again, Mississippi River. Now you're probably thinking, what was I doing? I meant to do this in a different color, so it's supposed to be blue. No, this is blue. Vicksburg, M, Vick. M, Vick. So you have to think the Battle of Vicksburg. Try to remember Michael Vick, and then think of M. I'm getting written all over my hands. It's kind of gross. M. Vick. Vicksburg, Mississippi River, Michael Vick. If that helps you remember it, by all means. If not, that's fine. You'll figure out another way to remember it, I'm sure. Okay, our next video numero 3, will be about events during the Civil War, which include the Emancipation Proclamation, the Gettysburg Address, and the Battle of Surrender at Appomattox. So, pay attention, and I will see you guys on the next video. Yay! Where's the stop button? There we go.